resilient. So even when your world is falling down, you gotta keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah. Gotta keep ascending. Yeah. Even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Oh yeah. Gotta keep ascending. Yeah. Even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gon' keep ascending. Her pain is my pain. Her struggle's my struggle.
I'm back. I'm back. Can y'all hear me? Somebody in the comments tell me if you can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, I just had a beautiful introduction that nobody could hear me from. And once again, that's what happens when you have to ascend through things that is out of your control. Okay. One day, very soon, this platform is going to get it right. So please forgive me, fans, friends, family, everybody. I was just trying to kind of telling y'all about my day yesterday. But you'll have to go back and watch the replay because it was recorded. But y'all couldn't hear me, so please apologize. I apologize about that. Um, Again, I'm not gonna let that stop me because I have this platform and this is my platform. This is what I do. I keep ascending because life shows up for me all the time. And it tries to stop me. It tries to defeat me. It tries to tell me, Toni, you can't do this. Toni, you can't keep going. But guess what? Guess what, enemy? You're wrong because I'm going to keep going and I'm going to keep pushing and I ain't going to let nothing keep me down. And if you have these similar situations when life tries to come and tear you down and try to defeat you and people try to tell you what you can and what you can't do, let them talk. Let them be. But don't let nothing stop you. I don't care what it is. It's okay. It's okay. Have y'all heard that song by Ty Tribbett? Just one night. You can cry about it one night. You can complain about it one night. You can be sad about it one night. But guess what? Push through it. Move through it. Keep going. Because whoever's supposed to support you, they're going to support you. Whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen. Whatever is for you is going to be for you. Even with the technical difficulties, okay? So it's all good. I'm not going to let it defeat me. I might cry about it later, but I'm going to cry about it for one day and 1 minute, and it's all good. Thank you for supporting me, y'all. Thank you for texting me, letting me know when my stuff is out of order. That's what community is about. That's what friendship is about. That's what love is about. And guess what? Your girl is going to keep ascending. Okay, baby, baby. And with that being said, I got my guest in the studio. He is a friend of mine. He's been knowing me since I was 21, y'all. 21. I was just a naive little youngster, okay? I remember meeting him and he was like, I met him and first of all, he's a boss. Okay, that's one of the reasons why I got him on my platform because I had to get in his business deeper than what I'm already in his business. Because, if you're my friend, and I love you, I'll be stalking you and I'll be all up in your business. You may not always know that, but I do. And it's all because it's love. It's love. And so this man, I met him when I moved to the Bay Area. I think I was only in the Bay for like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month or so. And people kept telling me, you pretty, you pretty. They even named me Pretty Toni. Okay. And I said, that's a conceited old name. Like, how dare y'all name me that? I didn't even think I was pretty, but that's okay. I'm a roll with it because Oakland named me that. And so they had told me about this fashion show called The Skin is In. Go ahead and do the math. That means there was a lot of skin being shown. Okay. But I didn't know about it. But I wanted to do it. I was terrified. I was excited. And I remember going to a rehearsal and there was all these beautiful girls, tall, short, thick, skinny, just beautiful. Okay. And I met him and he was like, you pretty. And I said, thank you. And he's like, okay, go over there. Go over there. And he started walking around dictating everything, being a boss, telling people what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. And we started rehearsal, and that's just the way it was. And that fashion show had been going on for years before I even made it to the Bay Area. And even while I was here, it kept going for a little bit. And it had been one of the biggest fashion shows that I can recall in my career of being in the Bay Area. And you wanted to be at that fashion show. Okay, because everybody want to see some skin. Okay, and we had some skin to be shown. Shout out to James Head because he was all the way up in that fashion show showing his merchandise and everything. And shout out to Mastan, wherever you are, we love you, we miss you. If you've been a model in the Bay Area, and you have put on a swimsuit, you have definitely wore a Mastan swimsuit, honey. And let me tell you, that is the definition of skin is in. And if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, go do your research. All you got to do is go on a couple of model pages and you're going to see somebody in a Mastan swimsuit. And that's the definition of skin is in. But I'm going to stop talking because I'm excited. I'm going to bring my guest on to the stage with no introduction needed. But just in case y'all don't know who he is, I'm welcoming my guest, Mr. Danny Lee Williams.
That's funny. Got a lot of energy, girl. A lot of energy.
The enemy tried to come and attack me, and I had to let him know you
I,
messing with
s-
the wrong
I
one.
see. I see. I'm gonna stay in my lane.
Nah, you good, you good. How you
I'm
doing?
doing great. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
Thank you
Appreciate
for
you.
coming and let me be all up in your business.
Yeah, yeah. It's all good. It's all good. It's all
I
good.
had to give him a little background on how I know you.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
That fashion show was like one of the biggest
It
fashion
was.
shows, right?
It was. It was. Everything you said was on point. Yeah,
Now,
everything you
who
said.
came up with this whole idea? Because I don't know the background of how
It
it
was
was.
a brother named Carl Davis who basically tried to enhance your standard, like, night party. So all the parties was going on, everybody was doing parties and so
Mm-hmm.
forth. So what Carl would do was stop. He would stop the party, and then he would have all these swimsuits like come out
Oh, see,
during the
I missed
party.
that part of it. I know
Yeah.
we used to have an after party afterwards, but I don't think I was here when he was doing it
Yeah,
like
I
that.
kind of changed the concept a little bit, and made it, did a little bit different, more so kind of taking that element as far as still having the fashion show, but I wanted to bring in other clothes and things like that and so forth. So I had a different kind of concept, more so. The first part of the show was like fashion show,
Mm-hmm.
with clothes and so forth, and then we kind of got to the more of a skin is in person, and then
Okay.
that kind of brought us into the party. So that kind of gave us like different
That
customers.
skin brought people to the
Yeah,
party.
yeah, yeah. So we had different clients, different customers. So some of the guys and so forth may not be necessarily interested in,
Uh,
and then get a chance to dance with the models and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, but Carl Davis was the one started it off with that whole little concept.
and I remember it being so big. I remember we used to have to sell tickets,
Yeah,
and we
yeah,
used to sell out,
yeah,
and
yeah.
people wanted to be in the building.
Yeah, they it was some times when people was climbing through the garbage chute trying to get to that fashion show. I don't know how they gonna get no dance smelling like garbage, but they was doing what they had to do to get in there. So
Well, I can
yeah,
tell you, I didn't have to pay for no drinks. Okay,
at all.
I didn't have to pay for no drinks because they remember me, and I didn't even know how to walk that good, but my skin was showing. So anyway, those were the old days. Those
Right,
were the
right,
youngest
right. It
days.
was good
And I
good
was
days.
fresh in the Bay Area. Okay, I mean fresh,
You came,
fresh.
you bought it though. You bought it. It was one of the best. It was
I
one of the best.
remember one show where I wore this butterfly. I was a butterfly.
Yeah.
I think this was the one we had in the city.
Okay. Okay.
And I had matter of fact, I had a ponytail. I had a ponytail, and I believe it was probably James Head that put that butterfly on me.
Most likely.
And Matthew Griffin, shout out to Matthew Griffin because he
Mhm.
used to video record everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he got this bomb video. I'm gonna have to see if I can find it, so
Oh
I'm gonna have to
wow.
post it up.
Oh
But
wow.
it's this little effect thing that he did, and it was nice. And I remember there was twins that was in the show too. Actually, there was two sets of twins.
Yeah, I think they were. Yeah. I mean, we had a few over the years. I mean, we went pretty
Yeah.
long. I think we went about 16, 17 years. But yeah, we had a few set of twins come in there.
Y'all had some of the baddest. The
Yeah.
baddest in the
Yeah.
skin is in. We
Yeah.
might have to bring that back and retwerk it a little bit. I don't know. We'll talk about that later.
All right, all right, all right.
But anyways, I'm here to know and to understand when it comes to the word ascending.
Hmm.
What does that do to you? What does that mean to your spirit?
Well, for me, it's basically progressing, with a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times that we just kind of like live life and just kind of just walk and do this and do that and so forth, and we don't have no purpose. It's basically, figuring out what your purpose is, and then and start moving toward that. Setting goals and moving toward that. And a lot of times you don't get anywhere because you don't set goals. You don't have a purpose, right?
Yeah.
So for ascending to me is just not standing in the same place. Just keep moving forward toward my goal. May not get it, the first month, may not get it the first 10 years, but you got to keep going, and that's what I do.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I love all of that of what you just said.
Yeah.
So when you think about ascending for your own life,
Hmm.
what was the time where you had to ascend through something?
So I think a lot of things that, obviously in general, a lot of things come up in your life where you have to try to, move forward and so forth.
Yeah.
I think like when it came down to like relationships, uh, doing the same thing and expecting a different result,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing, you know, what to do to make a better impact in life. So I think relationships, for me, I feel so much better, and I hate that I did later in life. I wish I know what I know now.
I
Back
ain't, don't
back
we all?
yeah. So things like that. I mean, business wise, my dad, I don't. My dad used to own multiple businesses and so forth, and he had a job,
Hmm.
So, and I got old enough, I did the same thing, and I don't know what his purpose was, but mine was, I just did things because I felt I can do it.
Yeah.
So the money wasn't the motivation for me. So it might have been for my dad, but it wasn't for me. And I used to like ask myself, like my dad worked in construction. He's like working all these hours. Why is he?
He was a
He's
hardworking
a
man.
hard working man. And then he ended up getting he ended up opening up a motorcycle club, and he didn't even ride a bike.
Oh,
He
wow.
didn't know how to ride a motorcycle,
Wow.
but he had the vest on and all that kind of stuff. He went through the whole process, and he was making money. He opened up his club and selling hot dogs and soda pops. You had to pay to be a member and all
I'm
that
sure
kind
that
of.
was nice for the community, though.
I mean, back in the day, brothers had a reason to get together and so forth, and they usually have certain things that brought them together.
Hmm.
And I guess he seen somebody with on a motorcycle, and he was like, "Man, I'm gonna start a club." And
Hey, I love it.
yeah, so and that's and I had that same. I guess that's in my DNA. So I have that same thing where I've always had a job, but I've always hustled, on the side.
Now, are you from the Bay Area?
San Francisco.
Uh-oh,
Yeah.
he from San
What?
Francisco. You a
What?
49er fan?
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, I'm an Oakland fan because I spent most of my, adult life in Oakland.
Hmm.
But I can't like erase the 49ers because I kind of grew up around them. You
Right,
know what I
right.
mean? Back in the day, we used to go to all the games and so forth. So I can't like just erase them and so
Okay,
forth. But
I
I'm,
won't give you too much
yeah,
shade
yeah.
today.
Please don't,
What
please
part of San
don't.
Francisco are you from?
So I was born and raised in Hunters Point,
Uh-oh.
and then I moved to Lakeview.
Okay.
Lakeview, yeah.
So both of those is the hood.
It was the hood. Yeah, yeah. We did a lot of things that weren't traditional for the regular community. So
Okay,
yeah.
so with you growing up in both of those places, first of all, congratulations because you have ascended.
Yes.
You made it out.
Yes.
You made it out.
Right.
What was that like growing up being around that type of environment?
So it's funny because a lot of times you don't know that you're in a certain environment. You
That's
just
true.
know what you know, right?
Yeah.
And so, looking back, and I'm like, man, I went through this, I went through that, but we did things that was a little bit outside of the norm, and I think that's probably came from my friends and my that peer pressure. I wasn't a quote unquote bad guy, but I did bad stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
and but in a sense of not hurting anyone, more
Hmm.
so just doing something I ain't supposed to be doing, right?
Yeah.
But that was natural for the hood.
We can all relate to that,
Yeah,
especially growing up in the hood.
yeah. We just did stuff. Like I remember one time we used to uh, get our new cars, and our cars, I should say new, but cars, and we would drive on the freeway, and we would stop the whole freeway just to.
That's that Bay life.
Oh, I mean, it was just dumb. I look back then. I'm like, what were we thinking about? But we did stuff like that,
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so just as an example of not really hurting anyone per se, but somebody could have been trying to get to the hospital,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
We ain't looking at that kind of stuff. We just
Yeah.
blocking the freeways. We got 5 cars, it's 5 lanes. We go block every lane. Something like that.
Y'all ignorant.
Yeah, very ignorant, very ignorant. Right.
But that comes with growth. So
It does.
you have ascended now.
I
I don't
have.
want to catch you on 5A, but you trying to do
No,
nothing
no,
now.
no. I don't understand why I did it, but peer pressure is a mother.
Yeah, yeah,
It is.
yeah. So you got your business aspect from your father. Shout out to your father. Is he
Yeah.
still
No, he
living?
passed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sure
Yeah.
he's proud of you because I know that you're a pillar in our community.
I try to be
And
there.
no, you are. You are. You can take your flowers while you're here.
Thank you.
Some of the things that I've seen you over the years progress and ascend. You have put events on like the 101 Black Men events, and you're a restaurant owner and things like that.
Yes.
But let's talk about you ascending through trying to find faith.
Yeah. So a lot of times, for me, you can't have faith unless you do the things that kind of like equates to faith, right?
Mhm.
So a lot of times people, um, we mostly we wish, like we wish this would happen, we wish that would happen. We don't have no faith in it happening because we're not doing the things that we need to do for to have faith.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, just even biblical, not to get, too biblical on it as far as that goes, but just believing in God, none of us seen God, right?
Right.
None of us touch God. But you got to have faith that he's there, right? But if you're not doing the things that he expects you to do,
Mhm.
being kind to people and taking care of people and so forth, and doing the things that you need to do to have faith. How can you have faith? You only get to wish that it works out, right?
That's right.
But you can't really have no faith. You can't go around killing people, shooting people, what I'm saying, stealing and doing all these kind of things, but have faith that you're gonna be okay, right?
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
wish you're gonna be okay, but not have faith. So a lot of times you got to do things in life uh, that stay on that track to have that actual faith, if you will. That's where I think that's where I'm mature enough to know that I can't have faith in something unless I, do the work, if you will.
Was you ever introduced to the Lord, or a platform to have faith?
Always blessed from a kid. I've always been in the house of the Lord. I've always believed, always trusted, always had. I want to say I always had faith because I always wasn't on the right track.
Mhm.
But anytime I did things that I felt was good in God's eye, for some odd reason, things would happen for me.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like dumb when you don't do it because it's like you have evidence of doing something that's biblical or staying in that right lane,
Mhm.
and the things you get in life, it happens.
Yeah.
But for some odd reason, we just we drift off and we forget, to thank God. We forget to pray.
Mhm.
We forget to appreciate the things that he's done for us. We get relaxing, and it's a very complex process in life.
Yeah.
So you have to be, you have to do things on purpose.
It's
So
a lifestyle.
yeah, it's a lifestyle. You have to think that way, and I think that as you're going through life, you forget. You forget that, man, this I wasn't here, and now I'm here. Like,
Mhm.
how did I get here?
Mhm.
And that's
What are specific things that you do to keep your faith strong?
so. I always like retrack um my steps.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? How I treated somebody, how did that conversation go?
Yeah.
Someone that had some issues. Did I step up like I supposed to? Did I do the right thing? So again, for me, it's hard for me to have faith if I don't do the right things.
Yeah.
So
So you have a conscience.
yeah, oh, yeah, I have a conscience. I got a conscience. So I have to measure. I have to measure my steps. You know what I'm saying? And so look at what I've done, and then I can have a little expectations of something coming out, good for me, because I can look back and say, yeah, I handled that right. I did everything I can do. That same thing like on relationships. A lot of times people have a tendency to be careful about relationships because they wait they wait for the other person to do something, so they don't reciprocate, properly. Or they like, hey, well, if she's not doing this, I ain't gonna do this.
Yeah.
If he ain't gonna do that, so they
That
have
tit for tat.
yeah. And so, then you get ready to break up with somebody, then you're always wondering, did I do the right thing? What about me? Or you don't feel good about the whole situation because you didn't give it your all.
Yeah.
So as I ascended and got and learned about how to deal with relationships, my thing is, hey, I'm still giving my all. I'm gonna do the best I can do, be the best I can be, and be the best man I can be. So when my person comes, I'm prepared.
Yeah.
I'm not practicing how to not do good. I'm gonna practice on how to do good.
Yeah.
And so then I can have faith that my person will show up.
Now, was you raised with your mother and your father?
I was
Yeah.
my
A
mom and
two house. How do you say it?
two parents
Two parent
household.
household.
Yeah, I did.
And
Yeah,
so being in a house like, because a lot of us wasn't raised in the
right,
house like, especially in the hood.
right,
Okay.
right.
Um, did they demonstrate certain ways of how to be in a relationship?
So I would say I'm a believer in that, but I'm not, because a lot of us, the way we were raised, even if you had a mom and dad that was there, your mom and dad was working long hours, they was
Say that.
always busy,
Hmm.
so forth. So a lot of our learning and our growing is predicated on peer pressure, or just your peers,
Yeah.
right? You kind of raised yourself or come up with your own beliefs and so forth, predicated on the people you hang around with. So that's why it's important to gravitate to good people, or positive people, or people that can help you progress. Because my mom and dad was there, you know what I'm saying, but they're working hard. They ain't got time to sit down and and tell me about the birds and the bees. I mean, that's to me, that's TV.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I learned all that.
I
Birds
mean, talk about that, because I mean, so like now we have social media,
right.
and so a lot of our kids are being raised by social media.
Yes. Yeah.
When we were growing up, we was raised by the streets,
Right.
and
Right.
like you said, your parents may be there, but they wasn't physically there present.
Right. Right.
And I know that still goes on because life is hard, and we got to work, we got to be places, we got to have multiple hats.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we be tired.
Yes.
And so, a lot of our upbringing came from the streets, our peer pressure, our peers, like you said.
Yeah.
So during that time when you was growing up, what are things that you like, you leaned on? Did y'all have like a rec center or something? Or
the Black community pretty much have all the basic things as far as like sports and things like that. I think I would have spent more time. I should have spent more time in the library. We as a kids, we're not pushed to the library. We're pushed to the gym.
Yeah.
We're pushed to the park. We're pushed to the things that takes our attention away and have fun. So we won't be on the streets stealing hubcaps and breaking in people's cars. So they try to give us things to have fun with, but there was a lot of things that was there for growth.
Yeah.
And so like going to the library or going to another job or watching somebody work and things like that, we should have done those kind of things. And we didn't do those things. If I couldn't play basketball, I liked watching it. If I couldn't play football, I liked watching it. So we was always in an arena to keep our joy there and keep us happy, and then and do the things we had to do in school. But there was no extra activities and so forth to help us grow.
Yeah.
And I think that would probably been a lot more if I had to go back. That's what I would have done differently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So okay, let's talk about you being a boss, a businessman.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many businesses would you say you've had?
Well, I currently have 5 businesses that I operate.
Lord
Over the
Jesus.
years, I've probably had probably about 10 altogether. So they ain't always successful. You got to keep going and keep going, right? But right now, I'm running about 5 businesses.
Oh my gosh, how do you do that?
It's putting faith in other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So what as an entrepreneur, we take that title and run with it, and like we feel like we have to do everything.
Yeah.
And it's not about everything. It's about bringing people with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I look at my different jobs and our different businesses that I own. I always put faith in other people.
That's hard to do, Danny, because most of us don't trust people.
It is hard to do, but at the end of the day, you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it alone, then you don't have a business. You have a job.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you gotta be able to put things in place, train people, treat people good, so they'll even a bad person feel bad about treating you bad when you're good to them. You see what I'm saying? So everybody not good. You're right. It's hard to find good people, but even a bad person, when he or she is up to no good, they kind of find it hard to hurt somebody that's good to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They may still do it, but not nowhere near as if a bad person and you're the boss and you're going around treating people bad, then that gives them an opportunity to feel good about what they're doing, even though it's wrong.
What kind of businesses do you have?
As you stated, I own a restaurant.
Tell the people what the name of it is. They might want to come get their eat on.
Yeah. I own a restaurant called D. Monahan's on the Hills. American food there.
And he didn't bring me nothing, y'all.
really, really good food there, and it's got a bar and so forth. Got an event space and things like that. An outside patio. We open from 3 to 9, and then we also have a brunch on Sunday. I also have a construction company. I do flooring, polished concrete, wood floors, carpet, and things like that. I also have a staffing company, and we staff temporary property managers, janitorials, desk clerk, things like that.
Okay.
Also have what else I have? I have an insurance company, so I sell liability insurance for different things like that. So
Okay, you got to go. I didn't even know all of this.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I do have a lot going on, and then I also have a janitorial company as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
The thing about all those companies that you just said, I love that you're able to give other people jobs
Hmm.
and help community.
Yes.
Like I think that's one of the biggest things when you become an entrepreneur. You are helping yourself, but you also helping
Yes.
community and give jobs.
Right.
I
Right.
love
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Congratulations on
Thank you.
that.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Well, y'all know who to call if y'all need any of these services.
Right. 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 Don't forget me. Don't forget me.
We won't forget you. They know who you are now, the ones that didn't know you before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's talk about what was a time where you were really stuck and you didn't see the light and you didn't see how you was going to get out of a situation, and maybe you wanted to give up or you just kind of lost hope for a second or so. Let's talk about
I
that.
think my two things happened. First of all, in the restaurant, I bought the restaurant about 42 days prior to the pandemic.
Oh,
So yeah, so I spent all that money buying a place and renovating it and
you
painting
mean you
and
didn't
all
know
that.
the world was about to shut
I
down?
didn't know the world was so I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to uh deal with it. We ain't never been in that situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a restaurant, people got to come, and you
Yeah,
couldn't go nowhere. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? So I had to lay off employees and so forth, and I had to cut down on my food purchasing. I mean, I just had so many things that I had to do. So very, very, I kept saying to myself, do I take my losses? Because I knew that even once it came back, it won't come back right.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take a little while for things to be quote unquote normal.
And the restaurant business is one of the hardest
It's
businesses to have
already
anyway.
hard. It's already hard. So to add these things to it, so just by the grace of God, I was able to handle it. I'm going on 4 years now,
Congratulations.
but yeah, but that was probably the huge hurdle for me, making that happen. The other thing is, in my staffing company, my my the people that I kind of leaned on,
Mhm.
they uh, was no longer my partners or were no longer in business with me, and they end up doing their own thing, which of course I enhance and preach about. And I want everybody to be successful and do the things they want to do. So um, trying to make that happen without them, because they were like I leaned on them pretty hard. Like I state, I always lean on my people that I hire. So it was kind of hard making that happen. And also too, it was also good because they were my friends. So it was like good to be to work. I could call and
Yeah.
laughter and all the good things. And so when you lose that, I'm not motivated by money. I'm
Yeah.
motivated by the funness, the happiness, the peace, and making things happen. With little or nothing. So
Why are you like that? Why do you care about that?
it's just that I have control over that.
Hmm.
Money you don't have control over, and you always end up getting disappointed because you want this and you want that,
Yeah.
and the average person don't get the money they want.
Hmm.
There's a lot of rich people out there, but there's a lot of broke people out
Yes, it
there.
is.
So, and it's definitely more people that don't have than do have, right?
Hmm.
And so I learned in an early age, you can't, you got to think about trying to be blessed about what you have, and try to get a little more here and there. But if you let money generate your happiness,
Yeah.
it's just so hard to, because it's not something that you have control over, right?
Right.
If you're working for a company at any given time, that company can close. If you have your own business, that business can come get a pandemic. You see what I'm saying? So you have no control over money being your source of happiness. So my source of happiness is people doing what I want to do in life. You know, them kind of things, helping folks,
Yeah.
reaching back. So that's what motivates me and so forth. So that's what my life is all about. It's never been the money. Money comes. You do
Money
good,
come and go.
money come and go, right? And if you do good, you normally get money from it. So, but it never been in my motivation.
Did you go to college?
I didn't graduate though, believe it
Okay.
or not. So yeah, I went to college. I went to Long Beach State, but I didn't actually finish
Oh.
because
Was
uh,
it for business?
for business.
Okay.
Right. Making, I was everybody was going to college for whatever reason. My reason going to college was to try to make more money,
Hmm.
but I was already making money.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting a promotion in my job and moving to San Diego. And so
You left the Bay
I
Area?
left. I left. I was actually in Long Beach when I was going to school and working. And when they offered me all that money, I was like, hey, I get school later on. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go get paid. So again, it was doing what I wanted to do. I was getting paid for it, and I love San Diego. It's a beautiful city, and so forth. So it was a win-win for me to go.
Yeah.
So pretty much, it's just been trying to focus on doing the things that I think that make me happy and doing the things that I want. And I've never been a flashy guy. I don't really, expensive cars. I didn't buy the name brands and all. I never been like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of my money, I was able to utilize for getting things that I want. That was, on a regular level, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't understand when they buy, 5 pair of shoes and they spend an additional $5,000 on some shoes. They don't look at how that money could have
Adds
went a
up.
lot. Right, it
Yeah.
adds up. It
Yeah.
adds up. So I've never been like that. So thank God, that I've never been that kind of person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are you a father?
Yeah, I have 2 kids.
Two
Yeah,
kids.
yes.
Girls,
Two
boys.
girls.
Two. You
Two
got
girls.
girls?
2 girls. Yeah,
Ooh,
no
bless your
boys.
heart.
Yeah.
Bless your heart, raising
Yeah,
raising
I was
women.
I was blessed. Both of my daughters was good kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, my youngest daughter gave me a little bit more challenge than the older one, but she turned out to be great, and nothing that I couldn't handle. And I love them to death. So if I go tomorrow, I had a really really good life.
I
Really good
love
life.
that.
Yeah.
I love that. Now there might be somebody out here in the Bay Area. You talked about being from San Francisco, from the
Yes.
hood,
Yes.
and then back to the hood,
Yeah.
and then leaving the hood.
Yeah.
Some kids don't make it out of the hood.
Right.
Some people don't make it out of the hood.
Right.
Some people are still probably living there that you've been knowing when you was living in the hood.
Right.
And sometimes when you have an environment, your environment makes you feel like you'll never get out of it, or it makes you feel like you may not be able to ascend.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give somebody that's in the hood, that want to get out the hood, that
Mhm.
has dreams and inspirations, and what would you tell that person?
So I mean, I'm a 100 black man, and we deal with kids all the time, and I hear all the different stories and reports and things like that, and what a lot of times kids have a tendency to lean hard on their peers, and the peers don't give them strength or that ability to feel confident that they can make it or make a difference. For me, what I would tell kids, always be the best in whatever you're doing at that particular level.
Mm-hmm.
And usually the next step is is to progress and go somewhere else. And so you might be, you know, a baller in the hood, but then you broke in Bel Air,
Yeah.
right? So you gotta hey, start at one point, ascend through that process and get stronger and stronger and be better at what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you reach to the next level, you might, like I said, you might end up being on the bottom again. And then you got to work your way up through that element. So you got to always keep progressing, progressing with a purpose.
Yeah.
Don't just run, and jump over the hurdles and say I made it. Have a reason why you're jumping over the hurdles. Why am I running for this, jumping over this hurdle? You got to have a purpose.
Yeah.
And people don't get a lot of that because in the hood, like you say, a lot of times it's depressing, and they don't speak about moving forward or getting out. They talk about what they got in their hand.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just, like I said, we have to, push folks to the library. They seeing things on social media, so they see stuff that they can't get.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're using other vehicles or different vehicles to get it, and they find out when they get it, it's not even worth all that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I drive a $200,000 car and drive a $30,000 car and get the same place at the same time, but now I got another $270,000 in my $170,000 in my pocket. So it's just the way you have to look at things, right?
The outlet.
Yeah, the outlet, and it's all about the peers, because that's what they grew up with. Parents can do only so much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they supposed to say good things. So we kind of, a lot of times we hear things, it go through one ear, not the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
But peers, we listen. What we gonna do next? You know what I'm saying? And so it's good to try to be around, so if I had one big thing I would say with kids is to try to be around kids that's positive or a good kid.
But I like that what you're saying. But
Yeah.
also, we talking about kids that's in the hood. What if everybody is just like you that's in the hood?
Yeah.
What would
Yeah.
you tell that kid?
I really don't think that. To me, it's always it's always a star or a spark around. Even the game, you got that one kid that don't think it's the right thing to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't be here,
Yeah.
right? And so you have to kind of gravitate toward that. And so I'm saying, so at the end of the day, we come from a baby or a kid, we know what's right or wrong. We was a kid, you do something wrong, you already know you're getting ready to get a whooping because you know you did something wrong, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you know right from wrong. So you have to gravitate toward good. And a lot of times the good is not flashy.
Yeah.
It don't look great.
Yeah.
But at the end of at the end, it ended up being better than the bad situation. So I that's all I tell my daughters: do the right thing, do the right thing. I can't walk her and hold her hand through life,
Mm-hmm.
but she got to know that she has to know that if you keep doing good, you're gonna the consequences of good is gonna be a better results than bad.
I was just telling my daughter that this morning, literally.
Wow,
I
wow.
asked her where was her gift cards and her earrings and her lip gloss.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
told her, I said, you're at an age where I shouldn't have to tell you to get these things because
Right,
they're important to you.
right,
I can mold you and remind you, but then
right,
you have to be responsible. Even though those are the little things,
right.
once you start knowing those little things, then you can have bigger things. I
Exactly.
was literally just talking to her
Wow,
about that this
wow,
morning.
wow.
Literally.
Yeah,
Okay, let's talk about the 101 black men. Because
yeah,
some people may not even know what that is or what they
yeah.
talking about.
So the 100 Black Men, it's a worldwide organization, and years ago, we felt like, I say we because I'm a black man, felt like we have to do for our own,
Yeah.
right? A lot of times that we lean on other races to fix our problems, right?
Hmm.
And like you said, you live in the hood and all you see is these things, right?
Yeah.
Well, we felt that black men coming together um, have a much more impact on our kids versus just hoping that the school take care of them or just things out there that take care of them. So the 100 Black Men came together. We got four pillars: health and wellness, education, mentoring, and we also economic development. And pretty much it's just those different elements of all the brothers kind of coming together, kind of giving back, using your strengths to kind of give back. That's one of the reasons
I
why
love that.
I do the gala every year because I have an event background. I've
Hmm.
been doing events,
Yeah.
so for a long time, as you know. So I was able to come to the organization and give back. So we pay to work for the 100 Black Men. We don't get paid. We actually pay money.
Do you have to have certain credentials to be a part of that?
So yeah, pretty much. And I would not, when I say credentials, it's more like-minded people,
Okay.
right? They comes from all walks of life. We have highly educated members. We have people that been through the pre through the system and so
Hmm.
forth. It's just about persons with good hearts, like-minded people that's willing to give back.
Yeah.
And you obviously got to be financial because, like I said, you pay to be a part of it. So we meet all the time. We're taking these kids places, and it costs money and so forth. So you got to be at a certain point in your life, of course. But at the end of the day, it's just having a good attitude and having like-minded brothers to say, hey, we're going to give back. So that's pretty much our nucleus of what we do.
I got the chance to go last year. And let me tell y'all, woo, them black men was fine, okay? It was some of the black men that I had never seen in the Bay Area before. Thank you for the invite, matter of
All
fact.
good,
And
all
I was
good.
like, hold on, I ain't never seen you, and I ain't never seen you, and I ain't never, and then some of them didn't have on wedding rings either, y'all. So I'm just saying, there's some black men in Oakland,
It
in the
is.
Bay Area,
It
San
is.
Francisco. They was,
Right.
I don't know where they from, but I know they from the Bay, and they fine,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, they
And
were
so,
there. Yeah, yeah, definitely got, and they're good people. I mean,
no, they were.
they're really good men and so forth. And so, and people, call it luck, whatever you believe in. I call it being blessed, but it's all about being in the right place at the right time,
That
right?
part, that
Yeah,
part.
you could have your soulmate. Could be 5 minutes away. It could be 5,000 miles away. You don't know, right?
It's true. It's
So
true.
it's just all about being in the right place at the right time and being blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I will say it was a very beautiful event. I got to network and everybody was just comfortable with one another, talking to each other
yeah,
and fellowshipping with one another, eating and drinking and
yeah,
looking fine. The women that was there was looking fine.
yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
was smelling good. And then just to be in the room with black people.
Yeah.
our people.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think I heard that whole night, like everybody was like, it just feels good to be around
Yeah.
our people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very inspirational event that we do every year. It's always the second Saturday in December.
Yeah.
And so people kind of look forward to it, you
Yeah.
know. And again, like you said, everybody's in there feeling pretty good about themselves because they're around like-minded people.
Hmm.
They know that folks are here trying to make a difference, trying to raise money for scholarships,
Yeah.
trying to do what we can to make an impact and a change in our society.
Right.
From, you know, what all the tools that we actually have.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't have a whole lot of tools, but whatever we have, we want to try to give back. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So that event, um, you know, even though we're there to raise money, we always have a good time as well.
We had a good time, and
Yeah.
the after party was fun too, even
Yeah.
though my feet was hurting.
Yeah,
And it was raining that night.
bring the right shoes, bring the right shoes, boy.
But then people showed up in the rain all the way coming across the bridge to San
Yeah,
Francisco
yeah, they
with no
did.
parking.
Yes, yes, yep, deep, deep in there. Yeah, looking good.
Yes, looking good, feeling good.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I appreciate you so much for coming on the
It's
show,
my
letting me
pleasure.
get in your business.
All good.
I'm proud of you.
Thank
Thank you for everything that you're doing for the community. Keep it going. I
Thank
hope somebody heard this story and can resonate with your story and let them know that it doesn't matter what environment you in,
you. Right.
you can ascend.
You can ascend.
You can
Yeah,
ascend.
there's a
Do,
spark there somewhere.
yeah. Do you have it? First of all, where can people find you? What's your social media
Well, you know,
website?
I ain't y'all. That's
I
y'all.
know.
I ain't know all
They
those.
still might want to follow
If
you
they,
though.
hey, Google, you know, hey, Google me, they'll find me.
He
You
said,
know,
"Google me, y'all.
yeah,
Google me.
yeah, right.
Google Danny Williams, y'all.
Right.
Daniel Lee
Danny
Williams.
Williams, you'll
Okay."
find me. I've been around here long enough to have some kind of platform on the internet. So.
I love it. I love it. Do you have any lasting words that you want to leave with community?
Well, you know, I would say, first of all, congratulations. You're doing a wonderful thing.
Thank you.
You know, and wonderful show and so forth. And I love all the positive things that you're trying to present. So I would definitely, you know, recommend that everybody keep watching, you know,
Thank you.
and keep seeing the things that you got, you know, coming down the pipeline. You know, it, I heard something the other day which stood out a lot for me. And, I probably shouldn't try to quote it because it's like I don't know exactly how they
It's
were
okay.
saying. But the main thing for me was, you know, how do we obtain peace, right? You know, what's the vehicle to get that, right? And at the end of the day, you know, you can have peace, even broke can have peace. A lot of money can have peace. It's
Mhm.
all about trying to find out how we have peace, and as long as we have that and focus on that, I think that your life would be a lot better. So, if anything, I want to leave with with the community is try to figure out how to have peace.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. And I love you.
I love you too.
I appreciate you so much. I'm gonna be following you still, and I look forward to the gala this year,
All
and I look
right, I
forward
hope
to
you
all
come.
the other things that you have going on, and all that good stuff.
Come by the restaurant, get some food.
Oh, I'm
That
coming.
helps me out. That
Maybe
helps me out.
maybe I might have a date or something. I don't know. I'm
Hope-
single out here in these streets.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Go bring her to demonic hands. That's funny.
Oh my goodness. Let me see. So thank you so much for coming on to the show. I want to thank my guest, Danny Lee Williams, for coming on. He is a pillar in our community, and I look up to him for all the things that he has done and also put me on from when I was a youngster. From the skin is in, I can never forget that about him. But like he said, he has some good gems. Like, it doesn't matter what environment you're in. It doesn't matter how you grew up, and even if you do have money does not make you happy. We all know that it's a temporary situation, but that is not the key to happiness. The key to happiness is walking in love, walking in joy, walking in honesty, having faith, and not giving up. And also just helping people. You may not be the person that have millions and thousands of dollars to give to somebody, but did you know that you can even just give somebody a smile and that can make their day? And I know it's COVID, 6 feet apart, so we may not like to hug anymore or anything like that. But when you hug somebody, you're exchanging energy with someone. And if your energy is good, then that means you bouncing it off to somebody else, and that might have just helped that person. You never know what people are going through. So when you go to work and your coworker look like she got an attitude, or maybe your boss rolled her eyes at you, that's what you thought, or maybe you just sent something, ask somebody how they doing. Give somebody some inspirational words. Give them some of your joy, because we have to be in community with one another to keep things flowing, to keep things going. That's what we have to do. And maybe you just don't know how to do it. Maybe you just want to do it and you don't know where to start. You can always pray. You can always ask the Lord what to do, how to do it, how to move. And I believe that things will fall into place. The main thing is having peace. Like I said yesterday, I went to a funeral and I seen nothing but all these kids crying and upset because they had to bury their friend. And I couldn't touch each kid. I couldn't talk to each kid. I couldn't exchange the energy of each kid, but what I did was I prayed for each kid, because those kids are our future. Those kids are who we're going to have to rely on, who we're going to have to pass the torch to when we're no longer here, because we all are going to be leaving sometime. It's going to be our time to go. And we have to be the teacher while we're here and let them know that they're going to be the next generation. So, like he talked about your peers are important. It don't matter the environment, it matters on who you choose to be friends with. It matters everybody don't need access to you. Okay. And maybe you start off being a friend to that person, or you call that person your sister or your best friend or whatever, and you find out that y'all don't have the same values. Y'all don't have the same beliefs. Y'all don't agree with the same things. You do not have to submit to that behavior. You don't have to submit to the walk that they're walking. And maybe you can't change nobody. You can't make people do things. You could just be yourself, and being yourself, walking in joy, walking in love, demonstrating peace. And that's what I want to give another shout out to Donald Lacey. Because last night, being at the gala, he talked about the man who murdered his daughter. Okay. Just listen to this real quick. The man that murdered his daughter, he had the nerve to go to the prison and talk to this man for 5 hours. Interviewed this man, asked him, why? Why did you kill my daughter? Why was she a target? And the man that he was talking to could do nothing but cry. Okay. He could do nothing but cry. And I want to cry just telling y'all this, because this is a black man going to another black man, asking him, why did you kill my daughter? Why did you do this? And after he sat there and he listened to him tell him why he didn't, and his reason was, I don't know, Mr. Lacey. I don't know why I did that. At the end of that discussion, at the end of him sitting down with this man, Mr. Lacey, Donald Lacey, he told the man, I forgive you. Yep. Go ahead and shout. Go ahead and scream. He said, I forgive you. The person that killed his baby, okay, that murdered his baby with a weapon, with a gun, he said, I forgive you. Okay, there's be people, you driving on the freeway and people then cut you off and you ready to follow them and beat them up and throw stuff at their cars. You cussing and doing all kind of stuff. You not forgiving them. But this man forgave this man after he shot his baby. Okay, so we have to learn to forgive one another. We have to learn to give people grace, and we have to learn to remember that life is showing up for everybody. Black, brown, green, yellow, female, male, whatever you are, it shows up for all of us. That's what we all have in common. But we have a choice, you guys. We have a choice to get up, to not stay stagnant, to push yourself, get out the way, live life on purpose, be in environments that feed your spirit in a positive aspect, and keep ascending. That's a choice, y'all. And I offer that to you. And start with baby steps, manifesting, writing, listening to inspirational music, Listening to podcasts like this, radio shows like this, gets your inspiration from somebody else. Because somebody always got it harder than you. Somebody always are stagnant and don't know how to get out of it. It's like when you watch that Lifetime movie, right? Because those Lifetime movies are real life stories. And you got your tissue and you crying at the end of the movie because you feel sad for that character. Be that way with your peers. Be that way with your community. I'm going to stop, y'all, because I done already told y'all. But I'm going to keep telling y'all daily, weekly, whatever. Keep ascending. Get up and go. Push yourself. Live life. All right? I love you guys. Thank you. The chat is on fire today. Thank you to my guest, Danny. I appreciate you for taking time out to come and be on the show with me and let me get in your business. Okay. Shout out to Believe Radio. Shout out to the Bay Area. Shout out to It's a Thing to Talk About for being in the building every Sunday, capturing these moments for me. I appreciate everyone who has been following me, the new followers, the people that started with me from the bottom when I was 21, walking the catwalk, okay? I love y'all. Keep supporting one another. Keep loving on each other. Until then, peace, love, peace, love, peace, and love, y'all. Keep ascending. Bye.
Ascending. Gotta keep ascending. Even at your worst, you gotta keep your vision. That's the only way that you gonna keep ascending. Her pain is my pain. Her struggle's my struggle.